Well, this is a big step for me because I'm getting back to it after 3.5 years. Because so today I'm trying on something that's very trendy, and that is Euphoria makeup. I plan to move for masters in 2022, and that's when I realized that I can keep doing this, but at a later time because I need to get my masters first because that is something I've always wanted to do for myself. And thankfully, my brother and my parents, especially my brother, to be honest, because my parents were like, get a job first and then maybe you can do study later. Whereas, like, I want to study first because if I get into doing a job, I won't really be able to study later on. So that's why I was like, okay, let me just do my masters first and then maybe I can. So today I'm trying on something that's very trendy, and that is Euphoria makeup. And I already posted this on my Instagram. I'll add the link to the reel. But yeah, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start off with a primer. Now I am not always looking at the camera because I also need to look at the mirror and see how it is going. I need to understand if it's pretty much visible to you all or not. Now once that is done, and I'll let it sit for a while, and then I'll go on with the foundation. Now I have oily skin, so usually even if I do use concealer sometimes when I'm going out or something, but in this case I try to keep the base as matte as possible because I need the rest of the makeup to really shine out. I don't want my whole face to look like a big shiny mess. The powder like this, so really blend it in the brush so that it's in there. It doesn't, I don't need to tap it off because I need the powder and I don't really want to be all over the place. I want the powder within my control. That's what I'm gonna do. And I have always believed this, and I'll always keep believing this, that for any makeup or for any face, even if you're not wearing like a full face of makeup, something that can make or break your face is your eyebrows. If your eyebrows, it doesn't have to be on fleek, it doesn't have to be very well shaped, to be honest. As long as they suit your face, it does not really matter a lot what kind of makeup you're wearing, if as long as it complements your face. It doesn't have to be a certain way, it doesn't have to be uh, some way some makeup artist or some influencer or some celebrity told you should do your makeup, which it's life changing. You really don't have to do that because that doesn't really work out for everybody. In case of makeup, it only works out if it suits your face and if it complements you. If you look at the difference, you can tell. Look at this eyebrow and look at this eyebrow. It can make or break your face. Now, before I do the eye makeup, I am going to add a tiny bit of blush so that it adds a little color to my face and it doesn't look bland. This is a bit much. I am gonna blend it out a little bit and move it to my eyelids and brush off the excess in the process. Because when I add eye makeup in this area, especially with the glitter and everything, then it would not look as excessive as it looks right now. For example, if I look straight in the camera, you can see the difference between how it's right here on the cheek and it does not look as severe as it does when I do this. It's a process, trust the process, it's a vision. Now I am going to add a little bit of highlighter, and I'm going to use a highlighter that's similar to the blush colors and the whole red, blue, purpley theme that it goes. And I'm not gonna overdo it because I only need a little bit because I want it to pop a tiny bit, because I am also going to add on glitter on top, so I don't want it to be completely nice. So I don't want it to be completely matte when I use the glitter because that would look very out of place. So I am only doing this so that I get that little sheen, yeah, the sheen underneath, and it looks naturally glowy and not essentially dry underneath and then shimmery on top. So yeah. So for the eyes, on the lid, I'm just gonna add something very close to the skin tone so that it does not look completely naked, if you know what I mean. Something to add a tiny bit of color so that it doesn't look completely washed out, and that's all. Nothing much. I'm not gonna do a lot to the eyes because I'm gonna add kohl, and that should do the job. Now for the next part, I'm gonna go and start on the eyes because this is our eyes are a very crucial part of this look, and I'm gonna start with a kohl or kajal, whatever works for you guys, you can use it. But this is what I have in right now because I'm using, I'm getting, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm getting back to makeup after like almost 4 years now. So I'm just using what I have at hand, and that too, I'm also gonna use this to kind of line my inner corner as well. Now once that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and do on the upper lid, upper waterline as well, so that there's that intense look that's needed. Now I'm not gonna keep it like this because this is too harsh, a little too not exactly how I want it. So I'm gonna diffuse it with a little bit of black eyeshadow. Now before, so what I did on with this eye is I just took a brush like this and just smudged it a little bit, and I'm gonna do that before I go in with the eyeshadow. I don't want the kohl to be very intense because there's still more glitter coming on top, so I want the focus to be on the glitter and not exactly on the kohl or the kajal or whatever you are using. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna smudge it out without any black eyeshadow because the black eyeshadow would only make it more intense. I'm just going to try and diffuse this a little bit because the look is more like, since this look is inspired essentially from the show Euphoria. It was super successful, so that's exactly what I'm trying to do here and make it a little intense. But since you see there's a little harsh line right here, so I am going to diffuse that with an eyeshadow. So I'll just get to it. I'm going to use like a maroonish brown to kind of diffuse it into the eyelid and the blush, and then to diffuse that out further, I'm just going to blend that because we don't really want the red to show. We want more of the black to show here, so that's why. Because if I open my eyes, you can't really see the red here much. So that's what I'm gonna do with the other eye and keep going. For the glitter eyeshadow part falling all over my face situation, I'm gonna use an actual glitter eyeshadow. Let's see how this one goes. Because essentially the idea is to mimic tears rolling down. So that's exactly what I'm gonna try doing here. So when I started doing makeup, creative kind of looks and not the, because there's a lot of makeup artists who start their career with the usual makeup looks, the glam, soft glam, but I started doing makeup with a more like creative looks, and that's how, to be honest, it picked up. I collaborated with an app, different brands, and I also you started doing makeup, essentially assisting makeup artists on set or on shoots or even on like bridals and weddings as well. So that's how I got into makeup, and it picked up quite well for me, to be honest. I really enjoyed doing it. This is something I like doing. Oh, this looks nice. I like the vibe. I like the vibe. This is good. I like the vibe. This looks good on camera, and in real life it looks even better, to be honest. I'm not kidding with you. So yeah, I'm also not gonna stop here. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is add some more glitter on top of it, and let's see how that does. Okay, this is really popping out. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more glitter on this while I'm at it. I'm just using my finger in this case just to check how it looks, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, it looks good. And whatever's left on my finger, I am gonna go ahead and use this on the inner corner and outer corner and the eyelids, so that it gives like a cascading, like a diffusing effect. Like it diffuse. If you see what I mean, Like it's not there, but it's also there, not in a very definitive position per se. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Like diffuse it and fade it a little bit as it goes towards the outer end. Now I can go ahead and stop right where I am at, but I'm gonna do something a little more, something a little extra, and take it a notch higher. Just wait and watch. So I'm gonna add rhinestones on this so that it pops up even more, because I'm gonna take pictures of it so that it pops, and so that it's like, you'll see the vision when I keep on doing it. And for sticking the rhinestones, what I'm gonna do is use eyelash glue, because I know that works really well, because I've done this before. So I'm gonna use a mix of different shapes and different sizes here. That this, so this is gonna get a little tacky as I go. So I'm gonna start using the rhinestones here. I thought I lost a rhinestone, but it was just stuck on my finger. I don't know how that happened, but let's just rescue it and get to use because the glue is drying up and I don't want it to fall off when I'm trying to click pictures. I'll just finish up the other side and quickly come back. So I am all glitzed up and stoned up. I mean, the rhinestone. I also want my eyelashes to pop as the makeup shows in the show as well. So what I'm gonna quickly do is go ahead and curl my eyelashes, and it's going to be not a good scenery. So I would not recommend you guys being here for that. Maybe just skip through it. I have curled my eyelashes. I'm gonna quickly go ahead and apply a thin coat of mascara. I don't want to overpower my lashes a lot. I just want to define them. So when I take this out of the bottle, I'm gonna clearly take most of the excess. I'm gonna just keep a tiny bit, just so that it can hold up the curl. So yeah, let me finish up the mascara real quick and give you guys like a good view of the whole makeup. And lastly, I am going to use like a lip balm lip oil so that my lips aren't dry. And I think that should do it. Nothing more needed. Initially, I thought maybe I use some glitter on the lips, but there'll be too much glitter. I also want the lips to look more natural and not as